There's a lot of great TV on, and you are really enjoying something called the Enfield Haunting.
Yeah, it's finished. It was a 3-part dramatisation of a well-known story, which, if you're familiar with anything paranormal, and you maybe read back in the 80s, there was I don't know if you remember it came out every week called The Unexplained. It was like a...
Tales of the Unexpected.
It was like a magazine form
of
basically paranormal activity and with photographic evidence of stuff that's happened. Obviously, a lot of it, it's not 100% dead cert that's actually genuinely happened.
I steer clear of all that sort of stuff.
You're not very good with horror, are you?
No.
Or anything of the occult?
Particularly psychological stuff. I really don't like it. It plays on my mind.
Oh, in that case, you're going to hate this then.
Well, I'm not going to watch it.
No. Well, I really want you to, because I think there's a part of you that I think will like it, because the acting is superb. Timothy Spall is in it.
Oh, I love him.
He plays one of the investigators.
Oh, he's brilliant.
It's centred around two sisters, an 11-year-old girl who has this claim originally that there is a poltergeist in the house, and she's at one point she talks and it's the voice of an old man being channeled through her body.
You see, even though you're talking about it now, I can feel the breeze. And I know in my mind that it's just the breeze because I've got the doors open. But it's on my legs, and I wasn't aware of it before, and now I am. This is why I don't watch horror.
Maybe you shouldn't watch it in that case, because I am a hardened horror fan. Right. I grew up on horror at the young age of, 8 or 9. I was watching stuff like Halloween, the movie Halloween. My parents weren't always around to stop me watching these films, because I just had a fascination with anything that was spooky, that was disturbing. I was fascinated by horror, and not just horror, but not just necessarily gore, but just the occult and weird things that happen, crazy stuff that people talk about. This story, I'm not convinced is a true story, I have to say, because it's when you watch the documentary, there's a documentary that you can see on YouTube of the genuine footage of, and I say inverted commas, the spooky stuff that happened. Because, when it's played out on this Sky Living 3-parter that I just watched, you do believe it. But then as the story goes on, you kind of a bit cynical about certain parts of them, and I just think that they were out for money, and because it was a massive story, it still is now. Even The Conjuring, that big Hollywood blockbuster, their second movie, The Conjuring 2, is going to be The Enfield Haunting, so they're loosely basing it on that story, which
have
of course is
you ever had an experience of ghosts? Ooh,
I
what
happened? It was in Cornwall. It has to be in Cornwall, doesn't it? Because it's always in Cornwall that this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Trewarnan Bridge, near Wadebridge, on the north coast. I was coming back from Newquay. A friend of mine, Jules, was driving. Her mum was asleep in the back, and we'd just come back from Newquay, and it was approaching midnight. There's a famous story of this headless coachman that goes across the bridge. It's a really spooky surround. When it's a tiny bridge. It's not like a massive thing. You go over it, and you've got the rolling hills, and you can just imagine when low-forming clouds are there, and it does look spooky. But we were driving past, and this big clump of fog just came at us, front of the car, and went through the car. All of a sudden, it just felt very cold. Jules swerved into the bush. Her mum woke up in the back, didn't actually see it, but felt it, because she was asleep. And we both in the front were, what the hell was that? Swerved, and by the time we'd come round and realised what had happened, we looked down at the clock, and it was 12:minutes. So obviously, as we were going over the bridge, it was midnight. But we didn't see it. It wasn't like a form of somebody's body. It was just a massive, what seemed a massive energy that came through, and it was cold energy that came through the car. But the weird thing was, and why I believe that there was something in that, was that Jules's mum was asleep in the back, but felt it.
So you all had the same experience.
And it wasn't just the swerving of the car. She actually said that she felt cold as well.
Ooh.
Kind of weird.
Well, I've had what I consider to be ghostly experience, which wasn't frightening. It was when my father's father died, my granddad, and I felt very bad because I didn't see him in hospitals before he died. I was worried about seeing him so ill, and I don't know, I regret it anyway. And I think it was I was about 13 at the time, and it was either on the day of the funeral or the day before the funeral, but which I also didn't go to. I don't know why. What happened was I was in bed, and I was sort of nighttime, and I was going to sleep, and I was feeling very sad about my granddad dying, and thinking about all these things, and regretting the last time we'd seen each other, and that I hadn't seen him in hospital, blah blah blah. Then I heard this sort of tinkling bell sound that seemed to be coming from in the room, sort of near my light, but it wasn't. It was kind of weird. And then this musical box that my grandparents had given me, which was it had a ballet dancer in it that went round when you opened it, and it was like a little jewellery box.
I think those are spooky anyway,
yeah.
Don't you?
Well, yeah, I guess. And for the only time ever in all the years that I had it, at that moment, it opened and started playing.
Did you see it open? Did you see the lid opening, or?
No, because it was dark. I was in my room, but
yeah.
It opened and started playing. But to me at the time, it felt like a comforting thing.
Yeah,
and
I was
really
just going to say.
felt like it was my granddad, was saying it was okay. That was how it had the feeling that I had.
And it's a comforting thing,
because
it's music,
scared.
Isn't it?
And the next morning, I told my mum. And instead of sort of saying, "Oh, how lovely, darling," or, really hearing what I was saying, she just said, "Oh, don't tell Thomas, he'll be terrified."
Right.
My little brother, who was 11 at the time. And it kind of took the wind out of my sails, and I thought, ooh.
A lot of people would maybe say that's a creepy thing, but actually,
It didn't feel creepy. And obviously, it could all be coincidence, and it could have just happened that time because of whatever, but that was... It was an unusual.
Yeah, I would say that's a really lovely thing to happen, though, because that, like you say, if you think about it, that is bringing music to you to comfort you and saying that everything's okay. And I believe that.
And it was a gift that he'd given me.
Yeah, exactly. But like I say, those musical boxes, they're always used in horror films, aren't they, as something that's kind of spooky. But actually, when you think about it, it's not meant to be, because that's not the point of those musical boxes.
Musical boxes and jack-in-a-boxes, I suppose things that conceal other things are always a bit scary.
Yeah, rocking horses as well are always
we
used.
Had a rocking horse.
Chairs.
Neddy, it was called.
Yeah. Neddy.
Rocking chairs, rocking on their own. Oh my God, I'm already scared now.
But no, I think you need... I know you're not a fan of horror, but I mean, what's not to love about him being in the Enfield Haunting? I think one of the best actors.
Yeah, no, he is fantastic. I've always enjoyed him in everything I've ever seen. I loved him in Secrets and Lies, Mike Leigh.
Mike Leigh is a genius. I love him in all the stuff that he's done.
Yeah, I really love Mike Leigh.
Yeah.
Max doesn't like him. He finds it uncomfortable, but that's what I love about him.
Jeremy's
He's one of my favourite directors.
Jeremy hates Mike
him.
Leigh. He feels depressed. And I know it's a common thing. It's a cliche, isn't it? Because people always say, oh, it's depressing. I find his stuff funny because I think it's human behaviour.
Yeah.
He always touches on human behaviour and how funny people are. Yeah, they're sad stories, and sometimes they're done in a really sensitive, delicate way, and sometimes they're not laugh a minute, but happy-go-lucky.
Yes.
And the actress who plays the teacher in that.
Yeah, who's also in Paddington. She's the mum in Paddington.
She's amazing, and I can't think what her name is. It's going to bug me now.
Anyway, yeah.
My brain's gone numb. But yeah, Timothy Spall, he plays the investigator. A stunning performance from him, but I've got to mention the actress who plays one of the sisters, who is... I'm guessing is meant to be about 11. I'm thinking she's probably 15. She's been in a couple of things. She was in Matilda, but she also played one of the daughters in Cucumber that we've reviewed on this show before, that we were giving away box sets for. Eleanor Worthington Cox. She plays Janet Hodgson, who's one of the sisters, and also somebody who I'm sure you love is Juliet Stevenson. She plays the wife of Timothy Spall, who plays Maurice Grosse, who's the investigator.
Sounds amazing.
I'm
the
scared,
acting, though.
The acting is
I feel
absolutely
scared
superb.
now just sitting here hearing about it.
But don't you think that children, it's very hit and miss with children as actors? I think it's that whole common thing of you should never work with kids and animals if you're doing a movie or a TV adaptation. You just can't fault the cast at all.
God, that kid in The Sixth Sense, how scary was he?
Yeah. Well,
See, I have seen some stuff. Only since I've been with Max, though.
Is it because it gets your mind going?
Yes.
That's what scares you. Because
Yeah,
this
and
is
in the
this
dead
is
of
obviously
night when I
paranormal.
can't sleep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, it's jumpy. It's creepy as
When I
hell.
was a kid, I'd sort of, if things were hanging on the back of my door, I'd think it was a witch. You know.
And when you saw Susie and the Banshees live, you thought that was
yes,
a witch.
yes. It's not a witch, it's Susie and the Banshee.
I really want you to see this, though. It's the Enfield Haunting,
Okay.
and it's on Sky Living, and you can get it on Catch Up.
God, I might have to have a chat with my
I
husband
think you should
about
review it
that.
on a forthcoming podcast.
Yeah.